Chapter 3. A long time ago, the Lord commanded me to visit King Ahaz, the son of Uzziah. Go and meet Ahaz and take your son, Shear-Jashub, which means a remnant shall return. Meet the king at the conduit of the upper pools in the highway of the fuller's field, said the Lord. Say to the king, listen and fear not. Do not be faint-hearted. The son of Remaliah and the rulers of Aram will not help you against the Assyrians. Their tails are smoking, their fires are almost out. It was true, Pekah the king of the northern kingdom was not a righteous king. The Lord wouldn't even say his name. Instead he disgraced him by calling him the son of his father. I could understand why King Ahaz might seek to rely on the kingdom of Aram, and the northern kingdom. He was not a very righteous king and had little faith in the Lord. Under the Davidic covenant, a righteous king was promised divine protection, even from the likes of the Assyrians. I guess he had forgotten all of King David's victories. I knew instantly that the Lord wanted me to remind the king of the Davidic covenant. It's why he wanted me to bring my son. His name was sending the king a message that only a remnant would return if he didn't listen to the Lord. The upper pools is the place where all the Davidic kings were anointed. This too, was sending the king a clear message that he should rely on the Lord and the covenant he had made with David. The Lord had promised that as long as the people and the king were righteous, a descendant of David would occupy the throne. Tell the king that the Syrians and Ephraim are conspiring against Judah. They seek to put in a puppet king in Judah that they can control. They want to install the son of Tabeel, the Lord said. Tabeel was not good. The proposed ruler would not be a descendant of David, breaking the covenant the Lord had made with David. Tell the king to ask God for a sign to know for himself that you speak my words, said the Lord. I will not tempt the Lord, the king replied after I had delivered the Lord's message. I could not believe that he would dare quote scriptures in his faithless response. What pious hypocrisy! Listen to me, O house of David. It is one thing to weary men and another to weary God. The king should know better. I specifically used the words O house of David to remind the king of his responsibility in the Davidic covenant. Since you will not ask for a sign, I will give you one. Behold, a young woman will conceive and bear a son, and his name will be Emmanuel, which means God is with us. He will eat honey and butter and refuse to do evil. He will choose to do good. Before the child has come to age and refused evil, the northern lands that you abhor shall lose both her kings. The Lord will bring upon your house the king of Assyria. It will be like those terrible days when Israel was split into two kingdoms. The Assyrians will send your people into holes in the rocks, and they will seek refuge in the bushes. The valleys will become desolate. On that same day, the Lord will use a razor to shave the heads and feet of his hired help, and he will consume the beard. That razor is the king of Assyria. Your lands that once brought forth great harvests to feed the people will become briar patches full of thorns and bandits. I was a little surprised at the words coming out of my mouth. The Lord was telling the king that he would be replaced because he would not listen. His son would eat honey and butter, while those that did not rely on the Lord would have little or no food to eat. Of course, that son was Hezekiah. I will tell you more about him later. Heads shaved meant the people would be slaves, and a beard consumed meant the Assyrians would kill the political leaders or the heads of the people. It was a well-known tactic of the Assyrians. Once they conquered a land, they would kill all the political leaders and make slaves out of the survivors. They moved their slaves to foreign lands and made their enemies leaderless, making it difficult for conquered nations to mount any kind of organized resistance. I told you the story of King Ahaz because history repeats during the end time. There will come a time when the Lord's people will once again forget the Davidic covenant and seek to do things their own ways rather than relying on the Lord for his divine protection. The Lord's divine protection is only offered to righteous covenant keepers who have repented and are redeemed of the Lord.